Here we go. All right. Again, my name is Brittany Moulton. I am the field marketing specialist here in Northwest Florida in Pensacola, Florida. And today we're going to be talking about blogging your way to real estate success. I will ask, if you are not asking a question, if you could place yourself on mute, that would be very helpful, just so there's no background noise. There was quite a bit of people signed up for this class, so I wanted to wait an extra minute to let them pop on. If you have a question, since it is a smaller class, you can always take yourself off the mute and stop me, or you can put your question in the chat and I will be looking at it on my phone because I do get notifications. All right, so without further ado, I am going to share my screen. I have a PowerPoint to show y'all. So I need you to pop off and tell me if you can see my screen in just one moment. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you popping off. So again, this class is going to be blogging your way to real estate success. I'm very excited about this class because I think it's going to be very beneficial to each and every one of you. So what are you doing to promote yourself and your expertise? What are the steps that you're already currently taking? Are you taking any of those? How are you branding yourself? Are you having trouble getting visibility in the marketplace? Are you struggling with maybe social media content? Maybe you're struggling feeling like your content is relevant in the marketplace. So one of the ways that you can join the ranks of successful real estate bloggers is growing your audience and grasping out for leads, and also gaining traction to your website. So there are so many things that you can do for a blog, and we're going to talk about those in just a minute. But we need to know that you can use the blog in multiple ways. So for instance, a blog can be housed on a website, i.e. either your new Moxie website or your InTouch Pro website, or it can also be housed on a platform on its own. So we're going to talk about that kind of at the end, but just know a blog can go in multiple places. It can also be shared on social media. It can be repurposed. It's kind of one of those things that we call in marketing evergreen, because a lot of times blogs, they kind of have relevance for long periods of times. Depending on obviously what you're writing in your blog, it can be a piece that you can kind of repurpose and use in your marketing toolbox for a long period of time. So this is a great quote. A real estate blog focuses on topics that people are actually looking for. Websites that have blogs have 400 times more page results showing up in their searches. So what that means is blogging helps increase your SEO. If any of you guys have been on any of our trainings, you know that SEO means search engine optimization. What that means basically is the score that Google gives you as people are searching on Google. So what I mean by that is everybody wants to be on the first page of Google. Where do we hide a dead body? The third page of Google. So blogging helps you increase your organic lift because it has that ability for Google to give you a better score. I'm going to check it right here. I think there was a couple, nope. All right, no questions in the chat. Good. All right, we're going to move on. So today, as we go through this session, I will be showing you examples of blog favorites that may help you get some creative ideas and your juices flowing. The first one is going to be Jade Mills. So Jade Mills is actually one of our biggest agents within Colwell Banker. She's out of Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, which is actually my hometown. And she's got a really great blog that she uses. So the link is there if you want to just jot down her name. JadeMillsEstates.com/blog, and take a peek at that at your own time. I will be showing you a couple blogs, but this one I just wanted to mention because she really does a great job, and she's a great person to just kind of look at because she also is a CB rock star. So what is a blogging platform? A blogging platform allows the user to create, organize, and publish written and visual content online in a blog. The primary thing that distinguishes a blog from other websites is that the content is published onto the blog is shown in reverse chronological order, meaning that the most frequent additions to the website are shown first. So what that means is when you're adding content to your blog, the fresh new content you're adding is going to be seen first. So think about when you post pictures on Facebook, right, in your feed, that fresh new content's being seen first. So this is something that you're really going to have to work at. So I should have mentioned this before we kind of talked about blogging. Blogging is not for the faint of heart. This is not something that you can decide to do and kind of half do. This is something you really have to put your efforts towards and be consistent, because blogging is only going to be as good as how consistent you are. And I say that a lot in social media, right? When I talk about social media classes, I tell my agents, choose one social media they're really good at, master that, and then move on to another one, because the content and the quality is way more relevant than having quantity. So having more social media accounts that have maybe one or two posts here and there is really not going to help you and be as beneficial as if you had one that you were doing really well. So the same is going to go for blogging, right? So if you decide to do this, this is going to be a commitment. This is something that you're going to need to really commit to doing and do research. So this is going to tell you a little bit more on how to get started if that is something you're interested in doing. So 5 reasons why you should be blogging. So number 1, we've kind of already talked about it. Google. Google loves that it is given to your blog will help your website to be more visible. So what that means is when it crawls your website and it sees that you have a unique blog, it is going to give you brownie points, going to give you that organic lift in Google. So each blog post that you create builds another unique page for your website. Those unique pages are great. That's what Google's kind of looking for. A page that your clients will love, visit, and share. So the more shares, the more engagement you get, the higher score you're going to get with Google. The more visitors to that website, the higher score you're going to get. The Google and others like that will start to notice and follow the traffic that is going onto your site and the pages within. This makes your website more relevant and a great source of information and topics in what you're going to discuss. Having a relevant website means that when buyers and sellers go online to search for information, your site will more likely come up because Google says your site has the answers they are looking for, which is so true, right? Why do people go to realtor.com and Zillow? Because when they Google homes for sale, those two come up because they have all those live links. They have unique visitors. Their traffic is high, right? The same kind of idea needs to go into your thought process of building a blog. So let's face it, as consumers, we trust Google to surface the right pages on the internet at the top of our search, which is so true. That's why I made that joke, right? Where do you hide a dead body? Page 2 or 3 of Google, because nobody goes there. They hit those couple, some people usually skip over the ads. I know I do. And then I go straight to that organic first thing that comes up in Google because Google trusts it. I should too, right? Number 2, build client trust and knowledge in one place. You know that question, the one that every client asks you, well, that one that you could answer just that one last time. Next time you get that question, you could send them a pre-written template saying, I'm so glad you asked that question. I actually get that question a lot. I recently took the time to answer this question in great depth, and I thought that you might like a detailed answer rather than a super quick, superficial one. Here's the link to my blog post, then insert your link. That you are not alone. Please let me know if you have any other questions. How great would that be? How many times do you get asked the same exact question over and over again? If you had a blog post that you could direct them to that has a detail-oriented explanation, maybe some photos, maybe some links, maybe some FAQs, right? That would just be so easy. So think about those questions that you get asked all the time, and what are they? What perks usually buyers and sellers information? You know, what do they want to know? These are things that you need to kind of start thinking about when you think about topics for blogs, but you have the opportunity to build trust with your clients, and potential buyers and sellers trust to work with you because they feel like you're knowledgeable. According to blogger.com, 81% of US online consumers trust blog content. So a lot of people are consuming blogs, right? I think a lot of us have gone to one-off blogs to get some of our information. With everything going on in the climate and the polarization of our country, a lot of people like to read other people's opinions in blogs, right? We know that they're opinions and we take it for a grain of salt, but there is a lot of consuming happening with people's blogs. So think about that when you're starting a blog. Stay connected to past clients on their terms, right? So blogs can house a large variety of content, from tips and strategies for when you're buying or selling a home to the benefits of living in a certain neighborhood, including a wide variety of content that can make your blog exceptionally interesting, even to past clients who know you and already trust you. Plus, adding a little humor to your post can make your post become an eagerly awaited event and even shared amongst the clients, friends, and families. Though I don't know if any of you guys watched the Netflix series Bridgerton, but one of the things that everybody was waiting for was that one blog slash paper that would come out that had all the gossip, right? And I'm not saying that this blog is going to be gossip focused, but it can have humor. It can have, a spin on it that keeps those readers engaged and seeking more content. We talk about this a lot too in social media. People want to work with people they like, know, and trust. So they want to see commonalities. So maybe your blog is about being a mom. I'm a mom. The struggles I go through every day as a mom, the funny things that we have to endure, the piles of laundry, things like that that people can relate to. That's how you're going to get someone to stick to your blog and your website to continue to grow. What a better way to keep up with people aware of your continued work in an RE industry, real estate industry, than to provide them with anticipated blog posts. So maybe you take your blog and you come out with a new one once every 2 weeks on the same day, right? Every second Tuesday, you release a blog. A lot of YouTubers do that. They have a specific day that they release their new video content. So same concept, right? Get them spinning and eagerly awaiting you to come out with a new blog. So maybe you do little teasers on your social media that your new blog is going to come out, and you promote it. And maybe you do a little video saying that this is the next topic in your blog. Can't wait to share it with you. And you just keep that anticipation going. 4, uncover an outlet to promote yourself, your business, and your expertise. You can blog about anything, seriously, anything. While you want to keep a balance between things you are promoting, strategies, and humorous stories, the venue still gives you the opportunity to promote homes and important activities that you're hosting or participating in. So it's really endless. The opportunities are endless. As you are seen as more of a community expert by people in your area, you open up the doors to gaining more opportunity to get involved in your niche community and unlock business partnerships. So what I mean by that is you're getting more into that unique niche, right? So we say in marketing, the riches are in the niches. So focusing on a specific demographic, person, area, clientele, and really digging into that niche and really understanding who that person is. So let me give you an example. For instance, if you work with your past 5 clients, possibly maybe in the same geographical area, that is probably your niche. Maybe your niche is you work with military relocation. Maybe your niche is you work with seniors wanting to downsize, right? When you find your niche, you will be able to do research that's going to help you amplify your marketing by really gaining access into their insights and what they're interested in and honing in on it. So with the blog, let's just pretend my niche was military relocation. My blog would be probably centered around, number 1, me being a mom and the craziness that happens. But number 2, the struggles that it is to move cross country, which I know firsthand. I was born and raised in California. I moved to Florida. My husband and I did it ourselves. We moved cross country in 2 days. So I can speak to that experience, right? Talking about the travels, talking about what is needed, the checklists, the different types of realtors in the area. I mean, most of the time when a military person is moving into an area, which y'all know this, they have a very limited time to find a home. So talking about that experience, giving them the best tips and tricks, the local eateries, things like that. So that should get some of your juices flowing. So that's what I mean when I talk about a niche. Sorry about my dogs going crazy in the background. Yahoo states that 61% of US online consumers have made a purchase based from recommendations of a blog. And I will be the first one to tell you I do it all the time. I search mom blogs. I look for the best products for kids. I have 3 children. I'm constantly looking for somebody that's had a personal experience with a product before I purchase it. I do a lot of research. So this is a really great way to get noticed. And number 5, never stop becoming better, a better writer, a better communicator, and a better agent. Anyone can start a blog. It's free. There's tons of free blog platforms. If you can write an email or create a newsletter, then you can do a blog. It's not that hard. It sounds daunting. It sounds overwhelming, but it's not. The more you write, the better you become at writing, and this bleeds into your aspects of your business. You become a more directed when you want your business to go a certain way, and your writing improves. So if you're looking to improve your business and you're looking to improve your communication style, or even just the way you communicate with others, this would be a really great way to do it. When you write from a blog, your writing practice makes you better at writing marketing descriptions for clients and in the MLS. Who hates writing their MLS descriptions? Me. I can't tell you how many times agents ask me to sit there with them to write their MLS description. Like, I have this magic wand of words in my head, which most of the time I do, right? That I'm a creative thinker. I work in marketing. It kind of goes hand in hand. But there's times when I just sit there and I'm like, I don't know. This will help you practice, and this will also help you be better. Blogging can not only help you grow as a person, but it can also help you take your business to the next level. So start getting better today and create your first blog today on your website. And I will be showing you how to do this in just a moment. Before I move on to another successful real estate blogger, I am going to pop over to the chat and see if there's any questions. So let me pull up my Teams and see if anyone else jumped on. We had a couple more people jump on. Does anyone have any questions before I move on? No? Okay, perfect. Well, that was easy then. Let's just keep on steamrolling ahead. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to start from the slide that we were on. I was jumping ahead. All right, slideshow. Current slide. Okay, here we go. So this is another favorite blog that we have. This is Christopher Cho Blog. He's been selling in Beverly Hills, another Beverly Hills agent for over 25 years. He's a native of Los Angeles. He was raised in Europe. He gained more valuable experience traveling the world as an international fashion model before beginning his real estate career at 19. What a crazy career change, right? That's just intriguing. That makes me want to read his blog over and over again, going from one industry to another. So this is a great one. I'd write this one down too. I can also link these in the chat for you too. But you can draw inspirations from other people's blogs. Remember, in marketing, it's looking at what other people are doing great and taking that and spinning it to your own spin and doing the same thing. Another real estate blog favorite is going to be our Wellington home team. So this is the number 29 on FeedSpot's ranking of top real estate blogs, 1 post per week since October 2010 with 1.6K Twitter followers. Wow. So this blog has a huge following. So take a picture of the screen, or I can link these all in the chat at the end. So here are some blogging best practices. Before I go into blogging best practices, I am going to segue into our blogs that we have here with Colwell Banker. So the first blog that you have available to you is the blog.com or blog.colwellbanker.com. This is our blog that Colwell Banker writes, and it is very much so written every other day, sometimes once a day. But these are like blogs that you can come in here and you can share on your social media. You can take these and put these onto your own blog site. Because you are a part of Colwell Banker, as long as you're giving the person credit, you can always come in here and grab one. So if we click into one of these, it does give you the opportunity to share it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or even email it or share the link. So you have the ability to come in here and use these Colwell Banker blogs. Most of them are pretty not focused. So you see home cooking, home improvement, You do have some obviously Colwellbanker focus blogs that you might want to sprinkle in from time to time, but there are tons of articles in here that you can come in at your disposal. So that's one of our tools internally. The second one is going to be our blog.colwellbankerluxury.com. So this is going to be our luxury blog. So if you're really trying to sit in that space of luxury, this would be a great way to come in here and get some inspiration. There's tons of blogs in here. There's just listed. There's stuff about auto. They have the report that comes out. And then here's the different blogs that come out pretty frequently as well. So you got your home of the week, which if we click into this, it shows you beautiful pictures of this home. And again, you can share this on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's got a video in it as well. So 2 places that you can go since you have that power of CV behind you to come get blogging material. All right, let's jump back into our PowerPoint. All right, so here's some best practices to blogging. The goal of any blog is to capture your audience attention, to build their interest in your topics in writing, and to create a desire to return to your blog and stay connected to you, your writing, and your website. So remember, sticky. So you want to keep it sticky. So blogging is a conversation between you, your followers, your friends, family, clients, prospects, community, business owner, residents, or anyone interested in your area. With that in mind, remember to write a blog like it's a conversation. The most successful blogs are informal and friendly. So we're not saying unprofessional, but we are saying that being human is okay. The do's of blogging, write in your natural style speaking. So what that means is write the way that you would communicate. This is a conversation between you and friends. It doesn't matter that you've never met them before. Being authentic is the way to build trust. And it's the prime reason why people are going to stick with your blog, right? So again, going back to that, people work with people they like, know, and trust. And to build that trust and that rapport is for that person to feel a connection. So make sure that when you're writing your blog that you're not making it so matter of fact that people can't even understand it, right? You want to make it to where it's readable, it's enjoyable. It's not something that you have to have a degree to read, which, I mean, there are going to be those very intelligent people out there that just can't, separate how intelligent they are with something like this, but you can still do it tactfully. Use you and I in your writing. So it's very important. This shows that you understand your reader, that your reader is a human being, and what's important to them and what makes them feel engaged. This will further improve your relationships. Use short stories to get your point across and make things interesting. I am a big advocate of storytelling. You will, if you have taken any of my classes, know that I love to tell stories, sometimes too much that I squirrel. But stories, I feel like, really make it more personal and relatable. And it also breaks up that bore, right? You can understand where a person's coming from, their life experiences. So stories just make it fun and engaging. It pulls a level of humanity into your writing and helps people care about you and your writing. So I'm not saying you have to share everything that's personal about you, or you don't need to put your whole life out there if that's not something you want to do. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is do a mix. You want people to feel like you're a human being and not a robot, or it's not just copy paste. Have a reason for your posts and stick to it. If you don't know where you're going, the point of your post, you will never know when you get there, and neither will your audience. So don't be all over the place. Don't miss that mark. So this picture is perfect. Don't miss the mark. This is not a place to rant about something useless. You need a clear path and a clear action to really get your point across and to really get those readers engaged. So this isn't a place to go and pop off, right? I would almost urge you to not talk about politics. That would be something I would steer very, very far away from, just my opinion. And I would really stick with things that are just really engaging and informational. Be concise by choosing the right words. So you want to consistently ask yourself if you say it in fewer but more vivid words. So I have a problem with this too. I was in law school. for a very long time. And there's a lot of fluff involved. So I don't really know how to take out the fluff. So blogs might not be my thing. But find the words that invoke an emotion and it propel your eye further into the post. Your posts are not required to be a certain length. So don't just stretch it out. Don't fluff it out like you're writing a paper that needs to be 2,000 words. It does not. It needs to be exactly what it needs to be to get that point across. Use contractions, use sentence fragments, short words, and some slang, but not lots. What I mean by that is I have seen very successful bloggers that use slang words and even use like not slander, but cuss words. That is going to be your personal choice. I'm not a proponent of that. I've never have been, but I still read a lot of blogs that do have it. That's going to be totally up to you. But the type of your writing feels more human and less digital. So be human. Remember, you want to be a friend. You want to be someone that they can come to and feel like they know. Incorporate some motivational and persuasive writing into your content, even if it means you need to do a little learning. So who doesn't like to learn, right? You're on my class right now. That means you're learning something. So understanding your readers' motivations for following your blog allows you to make the most of new trust that you are developing with your readers. Understanding them allows you to be even more influential in their support and business to you. So knowing who's reading your blog, what is needed, what your readers want, right? You could even put out a poll before you start a blog and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting a blog. Maybe do a social media post. What are you most interested in reading about? Are you most interested in reading about real estate? Probably not, right? 9 times out of 10, people, they might have questions, but that's not what they're really seeking after. Are they interested about the local community, what the local community that you sell in has to offer? The events that are happening, the rich history, right? Pensacola, where I live, is full of history. I'm a history buff. I love watching history documentaries. I'm just an odd person in that sense, but find out what your audience likes and expand upon it. The do's of blogging: be believable and build clout, right? So I'm not telling you to be someone you're not, right? That's not what I'm saying. You need to be believable and you want someone relatable. A blog is a social venue. So part of your goal is to build your social reach with your blog. Taking the content that you are creating and sharing it across the social networks that you are incorporating in your business establishes your credibility as people share, like, and vote your post. So what that means is the more credibility and the more your blog is seen and liked will continue not only to increase your business and your website presence, but will also help you with your social media presence as well. Another real estate blog favorite is Mana USA. This is a great one to look at. It's number 54 on FeedSpot's ranking of top real estate blogs. This one has 5 posts per week, Facebook fans of 10,000, Twitter followers of 136,000, Instagram of 1.4. So this would be one to take a look at as well, just for some great insights and tips and tricks. Okay, so now we're going to go into the don'ts of blogging. So cliches are cliche, so avoid them. Use explanation points sparingly. I am 100% a victim of the explanation points. I love them. I don't know. I feel like I get my point across when I use them. Cliches are cliche, so avoid them. They don't mean as much as your readers would like. They really aren't going to get you followers. So just try to stay away from them. Use your explanation points sparingly. They quickly lose their meaning when you overuse them. So I definitely do this all the time when I write emails, and that was one of my New Year's resolutions, was to use my explanation marks sparingly, because I definitely overuse them and they lose what they're supposed to. They lose the surprise. Apologies, as my throat is dry from talking so much. The don'ts of blogging, here's another kind of examples. Formal writing isn't very friendly. Be friendly. We kind of touched on that a little bit. This will encourage your readers to feel like you are talking directly to them. So you want them to be a friend or a family member. You don't want them to have to feel like they're scratching their head like this little kid in this picture, trying to understand what you're trying to convey. Jargon is hard, so try to figure it out. So don't use it. Try to figure it out. Don't use it. It will break the flow of your post and you will lose interest and engagement you work so hard to build. And then sticking to specific aspect of your business will start to feel stale to your readers and they will lose interest. Instead, allow your blog to grow with you as you develop your interest and grow. It will make for a well-rounded blog. So I think that one is probably the most important one. Don't stick to one thing, right? Once you do it 10 times, it's totally stale. You've beaten it with a stick, right? You want to grow as you grow. So as well as your interests. It does not mean that you have to go and write about things that you're completely uninterested in. I would almost argue that that's probably not the best use of blogging. It should be something you're interested in learning about and expanding upon, something that you have passion for, because those are going to be the best blogs. It's not going to be the ones where you feel forced to post. The first rule of blogging: consistency. Once a week or every day, just stick to a consistent schedule. So we talk about this a lot. So I talk a lot about consistency with social media when I sit down with my agents and we talk about when they're going to post, what type of content, right? I think a calendar is necessary as a real estate agent because you really need to have a plan. You need to map out your plan. When are you going to post on Facebook? When are you going to post on your blog? Instagram? You know, we have so many platforms that we're running around trying to make sure that we're doing a good job on. If you're not organized, then you're not going to be successful. So get yourself a calendar, stick to consistency. I would almost argue if you're starting out with a blog, try to do it once a week or once every 2 weeks and build up that anticipation, right? That would be a great way to start doing it. Some other things, just remember, we want to provide relevant, useful, and valuable information. The more useful of the information you post, the more the readers will attract and most likely become regular readers. Oops, I just went through my whole PowerPoint for y'all. So just make sure that when you sit down and you're really thinking about doing a blog, that you're consistent. That's the biggest thing if I could tell you anything, is consistency is key. Also, you want to make sure that you're also proofreading these. So make sure you have somebody maybe that you trust that could proofread these. And remember that some of your readers might catch some of your errors or your mistakes. So just be aware of that. And also they might not be able to read every single one of your blogs, but that doesn't mean to stop. Just keep going. Another idea is if you do have a blog, you can add it to your email signature, any of your newsletters, obviously link it to your social media and your website. Another tip is to mix up your format. So if you typically write long all text posts, try mixing up fewer posts and adding images to see if that changes your page views. You can even throw in occasional video to the post to add a level of interest. I love video. Video is king. It's optimized on all platforms. That is a great call out. You know, some of your blogs are going to be very wordy. Some are going to be picture focused, video focused, but try to switch it up and see what you have. Have a point of view. Sometimes all it takes is a little controversy to get your blog on the map. We talked about this a little bit. Don't be afraid to take a stand on a hot topic in your industry and encourage them to make a discussion, an informed discussion in your comments. Make it easy to read. Use subheadings, bullets, and other formatting wherever appropriate to make it easier for your readers to skim and zero in on the information most important to them. Self-edit, we've already talked about that, and find a proofreader. Ask a colleague, ask your spouse, your significant other. If there is share a little bit of you. We talked about this already too, but they want to get to know who you are. I kind of gave you guys an insight on myself. Play on that. Make sure that the reader knows exactly who it is. So this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes time for a business blog to build momentum, pull in readers, and create loyal following. Be patient and try not to get discouraged if the process seems sluggish. Slow, steady, and consistent wins the race when it comes to blogging. So just remember that. It's just like SEO. We always talk about SEO being that marathon. It's not the sprint. It's that slow turtle that wins the race. So the same thing goes with blogging because it builds that SEO. Another real estate favorite blog. This one is number 75 on FeedSpots. Their Facebook fans are 1.5K and their Twitter followers are 159,000. So take a look at this one, portlandrealestateblog.com. Another one is detailed.com, real estate blogs. Want to sample some of the best blogs in the industry? Just Google the best real estate blogs. Super easy. So we're going to go live. I'm going to show you two different places where you can get started on a blog. The first place is if you have InTouch Pro, you already have a blog built in. And I know we are moving over to Moxie, but you can take your blog posts that you already have over to Moxie by copying them into a Word document and just rewriting them into a hosting site. And then I'm going to show you in your new Moxie website where to go to add your blog. So before I do that, let me hop over to the Teams and see if there's any questions in the chat. Okay, there is. So you can, these blogs from CB Desk, or just search the website. I mean, find the blogs. Yeah, so if they're not on CB, they might be on CB Desk on the left-hand side in marketing, but the best way to reach them is going to be that hyperlink, the Colwellbankerluxury.com. Is there a tile on our site for the Colwellbanker blogs? There is not. So you will have to like bookmark these or keep them or Google them. I just Googled them. When I look for them, I just colwellbankerblog.com, colwellbankerluxury.com. So Google will be your best friend. Okay. Any other questions before I move into actually showing you where to hook up your blog? No? Okay, good questions in the chat. All right, so let me come into Desk. So for the first one, InTouch, if you still have InTouch, you do have to have InTouch Pro to have the blog post. So let me go into my managers because she has InTouch Pro. Let me log into hers to show you. So if you're moving over to Moxie, I know there's a lot of agents that had InTouch Pro and they have a ton of blog posts that they used in InTouch that they're wanting to move over. I'm going to show you how to do that. So for the blog posts here, you're going to come up to a website and click on blog posts. Again, you won't see blog posts unless you have InTouch Pro. So she has a ton of blog posts that she has posted throughout the years with InTouch. So she can either, you know, maybe she decides none of these are relevant. She doesn't want to bring up any over to her new blog site. Or if you do want to come in here and grab some of these, all you have to do is click on them and then come in here and grab this text. I would just copy it and open a Word document. And here's my blog post for tornado tips. So I would just have to take this to my host site for blogs or take it over to Moxie. But you can take all of your blog posts from InTouch since we are transferring over to Moxie, and that's how you would do it. If you are keeping InTouch Pro, the great thing about InTouch Pro is that you can add a new post for your blogs right here. You don't need like a hosting site for your blog. You can just click add new post, and there's a plethora of posts that they have. So you can either write your own or there's a library that you have. Start with an article library here in InTouch. There's tons and tons of articles already pre-written for you that you can use for your website, which is super nice. So I'm not going to really go into the weeds on InTouch because we are moving over to Moxie and we're going to stop training on InTouch. But for those of you that do have InTouch Pro that have a blog, I wanted you to see that you can grab the blog posts that you've already posted and you can take them with you. So you can take them to a hosting ground for a new blog platform, or you can take them over to Moxie. So let's go into Moxie so I can show you exactly what I mean by adding your blog there. So I'm going to click on my Moxie Works tile. I know everybody's point of contention right now is Moxie, so I'm going to show you very quickly on how you would add your blog to Moxie. So when you come into Moxie, you're always into your profile right here. This is really confusing because you can't do a lot of changes here on your profile. But where we're going to go is my website. And I'm going to show you exactly where you can upload blogs, as well as connect a blog platform. So on the left-hand side here on this control panel, if you scroll all the way down to blog posts, you can add a new blog post directly to your website here, just like we did with InTouch. So if you wanted to come and, add all the ones from your InTouch, you would just put your header and the blog post, and then go through your SEO, your tags, and your media URL if you had a media size, right? A video or anything like that. So that's how you would add a one-time blog post. There's also the ability to, let's see here, let me show you the other things. Post categories in the blogs. So you can add new categories in here and have descriptions, so you can kind of put these out. There's tags that you can add. So this is getting nitty-gritty into like website building, and I'm not really going to get into the weeds, but I just want to show you where it's at. And then you can also blog import. So you can import from a site that you currently have a blog on. So it shows you the ones that it's going, it kind of LiveJournal is one, podcast, Libsyn, podcast. So other things like that, WordPress. So you can actually run an importer to import the blog site that you're already using. So that's how you would do your blog here on Moxie. Probably the easiest way is going to be to add the blogs right there by just creating a new blog post. But some agents like to host their blog on a separate platform, like a free blog post. That way they have that to kind of link people to, and then they can put their website and all their information in. However you see work for your business is going to be best for you. But the tools are there, and now you guys are a little bit smarter about blogging your way to real estate success. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if there's any other questions in the chat. And there is not. Does anyone have any questions? Y'all have been a great group today. No questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what the Wellington team one is again, so I can check that out?
Absolutely. Let me go back up to that one. That was not this one. The Jade Mills one. Going back through my, here it is. Let me just copy the link into the chat. Will that make it easier?
Right. Okay, fine.
Right.
Now, how would I find that? Would I just Google from my, up on the top of my computer?
So I just linked it in the chat, so you can just click on it and it should open up into a bar for you.
Okay. Will there be blogs on, if you don't continue with the InTouch Pro or whatever it is, will they be giving us blogs for Moxie in the future?
No, so you'd have to create your own. So they're not going to have a library like they did in InTouch.
So then we really have to subscribe to InTouch if we want those blogs to continue.
Well, I mean, you can still have a blog on Moxie. It's just you're not going to have a like content already written for you. You're going to have to write the content or find the content. Because there is a blog capability in Moxie, like I just showed you, but they don't have like templated blog posts like InTouch does.
Okay. So then they want us to stay with it. And if we want to blog like you're supposed to, that means we have to stay with InTouch.
No, you can still blog with Moxie. It's just they don't, so Moxie doesn't provide like already templates made for you in the sense of like pre-made copy. It's already written for you like it is in InTouch. Moxie allows you to have a blog and encourages you to have a blog, but you have to write it yourself and do the research.
Okay.
That makes sense?
It does, yes.
Okay. I mean, there's places that you can pull information from all over the internet, and do research and things like that. And you could make a really great blog on Moxie. Just going to be a little bit more work involved.
It just seems